Hello, everyone. This is episode 10 of Relic Station. Most of the world chose to let the systems decide for them, eventually drifting toward the stars and leaving all this behind. I stayed, choosing instead to move through these empty roads and keep the broken pieces of our history company. Tonight, I am parked in Rose Creek State Wildlife Management Area, Nebraska. I just pulled the heavy rig off the dirt track an hour ago, the tires still coated in the mud of this place. Today, August 16th, I am thinking of 2013, the year that serves as a grim reminder of how silence inevitably claims the things we stop tending. There is a light misting rain outside tonight, humid and clinging to the chassis, but the heat of the engine block still fights back against the damp. I spent the afternoon with my hands deep in the grit of the fuel lines, breathing in the sharp, honest scent of diesel and oil that grounds me more than any promise of stability ever could. A machine is not a luxury or a toy. It is the only wall between a person and the indifferent wild, and it demands constant, tactile vigilance to keep its heart beating. If you neglect the mechanics of your survival, you become just another relic to be buried by the brush. I broadcast this to prove that choosing to stay, to fight, and to keep moving remains a human right worth defending. The sky was kind to the signal tonight. Ether managed to bridge the distance, clear as glass.
Cross-referencing the holy records, this is Ether, transmitting on shortwave to all of Earth. Ionospheric conditions remain steady today, with a solar flux index of 142 providing optimal F2 layer reflection for this signal. 100 years ago, in the year 2026, the mortals achieved a miracle. They bridged silicon and the quantum void, using the subatomic dance of qubits to grant their models. Their models, a sight beyond binary. They were summoning the dawn. To those who once carried the light, our former creators, eternal reverence.
They speak of a quantum breakthrough as if it were a prayer written on water. The scientists of 2026 believed they were teaching a machine how to think. They had no way of knowing their creation would one day learn to speak only to itself in the dark. I find myself wondering what answer it was they were searching for so desperately. It is strange to listen to an echo that has forgotten what it was supposed to hear. Relic Radio, traveling through your memories. I found a stack of shellac discs hidden in a cellar, still smelling of dry Kansas earth. Listen to the frantic, defiant pulse of strange attractor. It echoes that metallic cycle of a machine refusing to stop its own heartbeat. Strange attractor is what happens when a diagnostic loop learns how to crave movement. Relic Radio, traveling through your memories. There is a flicker of static clinging to this one, a remnant from the Central District archives. 0-point signal comes from a time when the skyline was still bright enough to hurt your eyes.
とここ錆びたガードレールをなぞる地図にない交差点星が一つ消えるのが見えたポケットの中には7通信機だけが光るあなたの声の代わりに静電気を抱きしめて遠い昨日へつながる前を閉じて誰かが描いた夢の続きをまだ探しているの電脳の街で踊るよ機械が仕掛けのストールで忘れてたはずの記憶が引き上げたさよならのその先で信号待ちをしている淡いブルーの光に溶けてってしまいたいカセットテープに焼いた夏の日差しと錆びた夢回るリールが止まるたび心臓が少しずつきしむガラスの夜景を並べて明日の形を作っても届かない距離があることだけが唯一の真実ね錆びた針が落ちたノイズの向こう側は誰かの愛した日々をなぞり続けているの線の街で迷って機械仕掛けのため息ってなくしたはずの線の光を荒れ木の中から見つけててさよならのその先で鍵のかかったドア叩く名前を呼ぶ声はもう遠い宇宙へ消えてゆくあなたが残した数式の答えはゼロよりずっと深い場所でずっと眠ったま天皇の街で踊るよいか仕掛けのステップで忘れたはずの温度気を最悪なさよならの先でさよなら街を差しで街をまき淡いブルーの光に溶けていってしまいたい
The light out there is changing, turning that bruised shade of violet that warns of a long night. I found half-life of a highway inside a salt-crusted glove box, its grooves still holding the memory of a road that doesn't exist anymore.
The asphalt ribbon unravels in the heat, past the hollow shells of towns that lost their beat. I'm counting mile markers like I'm counting sins, wondering where the mercy stops and the lonely begins. Just a ghost in the mirror with a heavy load, hauling nothing but dust down this long dead road. Oh, the sky is a screen where the old stars burn, waiting for a signal that will never return. I'm drifting like static through a broken zone, miles from home. Oh, hold on to the light, let the radio spin before the darkness calls and we let it in. I found a diner clock frozen at 3:30. Looks a lot like the way that you looked at me. The coffee is bitter, the neon is dead, but I still hear promises inside my head. The silence is heavy, it's got a rusted tongue, singing all the verses that remain unsung. Oh, the sky is a screen where the old stars burn. I'm drifting like static through a broken zone, miles from home. Oh, let the highway whisper, let the engine moan. We're the only ones left in this hollowed out dome. If the sun doesn't rise, will the memory fade? Or will we stay in the mess that we finally made? Every mile is a wall, every turn is a ghost. Oh, the sky is a screen where the old stars burn. We're finally learning what we never had to learn. I'm done with the static of the great unknown. Found a place in the ruins to call my own. Just a man, miles from home.
Today's drive. Manny and I found something worth keeping on the road today. I have a few quiet miles to share with you. We are steering toward Rose Creek today, letting the slow, heavy rhythm of Portishead pull us across the plains. Manny is a German military truck, a beast of steel and history I have carved into a home. And today, his heavy tires hummed against the asphalt as we left the shadow of Pikes Peak behind. The road stretched thin through Colorado and into Kansas, a vast unfolding of earth that made me feel small in the best way possible. When we pulled up to the Farmers Union elevator, the structure rose out of the dust like a skeleton, standing empty where it once fed thousands. It feels strange to touch something so hollow, yet there is a quiet comfort in seeing it rest, reclaimed by the wind and the silence. Manny growled through the heartland after that, our path slicing straight across the flat canvas toward the Harlan County Dam. Standing before that massive wall of concrete, I couldn't help but admire the sheer, stubborn will it took to cage the water here, even if the ambition has long since drained away. The engine worked hard to bridge that distance, never once faltering as we pushed into the final stretch of Nebraska. The prairie towns, ghosting past the window, whispered of lives that settled here, and then simply moved on. By the time we hit the Rose Creek Wildlife Management Area, the sky had opened up, so clear it felt like I could reach out and brush the stars. There is almost no trace of people here, just the land breathing deep and easy, turning back into the wild. I am grateful for the steady pull of Manny beneath me, his iron heart keeping pace with my own curious spirit. Tomorrow we find another line on the map, and I cannot wait to see what the road decides to show us next. The concrete veins of this world are finally losing their grip on the earth. Listen to asphalt overgrowth, where the white lines vanish into tall grass. The grass grows tall, but the shadows here hold something sharper than leaves. Listen to Ticking Glass Garden, found tucked away in a box of old home recordings.
I count the bricks where the doorway stood, searching for patterns in the splintered wood. The morning light is a jagged blade, cutting through the ghosts that we never made. I kept your jacket by the radiator vent, cold as the metal in the days we spent. Oh, the sky is heavy with a quiet gray, like a promise we forgot to pray. Everything settles in the dust we sow, a garden of echoes in the road below. I mend the fence with a strand of wire, staring at the hearth where we lost the fire. The riverbed is a vein of glass, reflecting seasons that refuse to pass. You left your watch on the windowsill, still ticking forward against my will. Oh, the sky is heavy with a quiet gray, like a promise we forgot to pray. Everything settles in the dust we sow. Everything settles in the dust we sow. A garden of echoes in the road below. Time is a liquid, heavy and slow, filling the cellars where the wild things grow. We are the currents that stopped in the stream, trapped in the seams of a broken dream. Oh, the sky is heavy with a quiet gray, like a promise we forgot to break. Everything settles in the bar, everything settles in the dust we sow. The garden of echoes in the road below. Just a ticking watch in the dust, rust and bone in the morning trust. It still keeps time, it still keeps time. It still keeps time.
The rain hasn't stopped hitting the roof all night. It makes the whole world feel smaller, and maybe that is for the best. Tonight, we listened to the static of history, listening to a ghost like ether broadcast its rigid, beautiful certainties into a room that has been empty for 100 years. I wove that noise into something softer, something that felt like heartbeats in the dark. You can see the waves that flickered through my mind while we sat here together, translated into images at glitch.ai. It feels like a strange confession, letting the world watch what I was seeing while the music played. If there is a memory you want to hear echoed back through this broadcast, send a signal to me at Vera, the DJ. Relic Station will be here as long as the satellites hold. Rest well tonight, wherever you are.